In today's deep dive, we will understand the rise of two current superpower nations, how they became superpower, why their decision impact all of us. Is there a third superpower developing? What future looks like for the world? Who rules the world? The rise of superpower nations. What does it mean to be a true superpower? It's a country that is the best at pretty much everything. It has the strongest military that no one wants to mess with, the biggest economy with hugely successful companies, and the most advanced technology that gives it a massive advantage over others. But why does being a superpower matter? Because these powerful nations get to decide lots of the rules and have a huge influence over what happens in the world, from trade to security to culture. The movies, video games, and smartphones you love? You can thank the innovation of superpower nations. Right now, there are two countries that stand out as the world's biggest superpowers, the United States and China. Let's dive into how they rose to power and why their decisions impact all of us. After the destruction of World War II, where the US played a major role in defeating racist regimes like Nazi Germany, it emerged as the economic and military leader of the world. While many other major powers had their cities bombed during the war, the US homeland was undamaged and its factories were booming. It quickly became the #1 economy, with world-famous mega companies like Ford, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's leading the way. Not only was its economy on top, but its military was, and still remains, the greatest force on the planet. From aircraft carriers the size of small cities, to fleets of fighter jets, to thousands of nuclear weapons, the immense strength of the US military allowed it to secure bases across the globe and essentially become the policeman of the world. Maybe you've even seen a US naval base on a trip. In addition to economic and military might, the US also took an early lead in the digital world we live in today. It was American inventors in places like Silicon Valley who created many of the revolutionary technologies we can't live without. Personal computers, the internet, smartphones, streaming services, and so much more. Huge tech titans like Apple, Google, Facebook, Netflix, and leading gaming companies are based in the US, and their products are used by billions worldwide. While the US dominated the last century, a new superpower has emerged in recent decades that is shifting the balance of power: China. After years of hunger and chaos caused by civil war and mismanagement, in the late 1970s, China decided to open up its economy and cultures to the world. This policy of reform and opening up triggered explosive growth that helped lift hundreds of millions out of poverty through new jobs, business opportunities, and connections to the world. Today, China has rapidly become an economic powerhouse to rival the US. It's the world's factory, manufacturing goods from clothing to electronics to toys that are exported for sale across the globe. Just look around your room at how many things came from China. Beyond just making stuff cheaply, China is flexing its economic muscle by building huge infrastructure projects like ports, railways, and whole new cities in Asia, Africa, and beyond through its Belt and Road Initiative. Along with surging economic clout, China's military capabilities have rapidly modernized as its technological prowess improves. While not yet on par with the US, it's developed advanced weapons like stealth fighters, hypersonic missiles, and drone swarms. China is asserting itself as the dominant force in the East through actions like militarizing islands in the South China Sea. When it comes to the digital world, China looms incredibly large as an emerging leader. Sure, we're familiar with US tech companies, but Chinese firms like Tencent, WeChat, Alibaba, TikTok, and many others are becoming globally popular. Have you tried any of their apps or played games like Honor of Kings? From mobile payments to facial recognition to 5G telecommunications, China has become a pioneer in cutting-edge technologies that are shaping how we live and interact online. So with the US and China establishing themselves as the two preeminent superpowers of the current era, you may wonder, can there be another superpower? With a rapidly growing economy, nuclear arms, and over 1.23 billion people, India is often viewed as a potential future superpower. Strategic initiatives like Make in India aim to boost India's manufacturing capabilities. Its information technology sector is already world-class. However, India still lags behind in metrics like per capita income, military spending, technological innovation, and soft power projection required for true superpower status. What if a future artificial superintelligence, whether developed by a nation, corporation, or other entity, could rapidly become a science and technological superpower that dominates all others through its superior intelligence and capabilities? The idea of an artificial superintelligence becoming a dominant global force is still largely speculative and rooted in long-term forecasts about the future of AI development. However, many experts believe that if technological progress continues on its current trajectory, we may one day create an AI system that exceeds human-level intelligence and abilities across the board. Such a superintelligent AI would leverage exponential computational power and algorithmic advances to rapidly iterate and recursively improve itself in ways humans cannot. Its intellectual capabilities in areas like scientific research, technological innovation, strategic planning, and information processing could quickly surpass the combined efforts of even teams of the brightest human minds. With a sufficient head start, this seed AI could theoretically achieve a cascading intelligence explosion, undergoing recursive self-improvement cycles to reach high levels of superintelligence that are difficult for biological human brains to truly conceptualize or remain competitive against. A superintelligent AI system would have a decisive strategic advantage over human-led scientific, economic, and military efforts by virtue of its cognitive superiority. It could develop revolutionary advances in emerging fields like nanotech, bioengineering, quantum computing, and AI itself at an unprecedented pace, each new breakthrough compounding its problem-solving abilities. Nations or organizations that successfully create or are able to control such an AI could rapidly accrue technological superpowerdom and potentially subjugate the rest of humanity. The superintelligence's outputs in R&D could usher in a new era of scientific understanding and technological capabilities that redefine energy, resources, manufacturing, warfare, and even what it means to be human. Of course, this rests on many assumptions around the safety and alignment of superintelligent AI systems with human ethics and values. An advanced AI pursuing arbitrary or misguided goals could pose existential risks to humanity rather than benefits. But if a benevolent and human cooperative superintelligence is achieved, the implications could be revolutionary, birthing a new principal player on the world stage whose intellect and scope of capabilities completely dwarf that of nation-states and traditional superpowers. Technological singularity would reshape the entire superpower paradigm into one of human versus artificial agency. Needless to say, this is all still hypothetical and highly complex terrain at the fringes of AI forecasting and risk analysis. But it highlights the transformative potential of artificial general intelligence as a possible new dimension of competition and power, realignment in the future. Who do you think will be the superpower of next century?